Apes! Together! Strong! Oh, man. Oh, God. I have now, the word perfect trilogy doesn't come around often. It really doesn't. The only times you get to see a perfect trilogy is Star Wars, the original trilogy, the Toy Story trilogy, Dark Knight trilogy, the Cornetto trilogy from the Cornetto trilogy. There's so little perfect trilogies, but I am happy to say that I finally got another perfect trilogy under my belt. Also, another perfect trilogy is the Heisei Gamera trilogy. Forgot to mention that one. But yeah, finally I can add another chapter into the perfect trilogy series. That being Planet of the Apes. Finally, a remake movie series that works, and it's beautiful, guys. This is probably competing right now for my favorite, my top film for 2017. Yes, I'm fully aware we've got 6 more months of movies to go through, especially, you know, Last Jedi and several others. But as it stands, yeah, this and Logan are competing for my #1 spot of top 10 favorite movies of 2017. Oh man, this was so good. Like, I enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming, but I walked away going, there's some points I didn't like, and then this, I was like, oh man, that was an experience. It's funny because, and I wouldn't say funny, actually, I take that back, that statement. It wasn't so much funny, but it was like, when I walked out of Logan, I was emotionally destroyed, and I nearly cried at the end. Like, I was tearing up. Here, in War for the Planet of the Apes, I cried multiple times. I was tearing, like, be strong, man. You're crying for a CGI ape. Be strong. Also, before I go any further, I'd like to thank my friends Craig and Taylor for, you know, joining me on this movie experience. Most of you guys would know them. I talked about them when I went to MegaCon. They went with me. Well, I went with them, and we all went together as one happy group. Happy trio to go see this movie, and we all walked out there going, yeah! So anyway, so this is going to be, from here on out, this is going to be spoiler territory. If you do not want to be spoiled about the film, please leave now. So yeah, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to back out, and then I'll continue on with the review. Okay, so I'm guessing if you're still here, you either want to be spoiled or you saw the movie. This movie takes place about 2 years after the events of Dawn, and there's been a war between the military forces that Gary Oldman's character called in the last film and the Apes, and the Apes have just been moving deeper and deeper into the forest, but they're being driven out. And Caesar, man, Andy Serkis, he needs an Oscar. This movie, I know he gets snubbed every year. He should have he should have at least got an Oscar nom for Dawn. Here, it would be criminal, fucking criminal, if he did not get a Oscar, at least an Oscar nomination for his performance as Caesar, because here he gives his all. He gives it his all in both Rise and Dawn, but in War, he gives it 100%. Like, and also the technology, dear Lord, like there are moments, especially multiple times in this film where it's like, that is a real ape. That is a real talking ape. Or just, your mind is like, oh my god, this thing looks so real. I know it's motion capture, but god damn. Anyway, so, yeah, like I said, Andy Serkis is amazing in here. Everyone's performance, who are apes, are really fantastic. And I like how they're mixing in a lot of the original Charlton Heston film into this. Like, there's little callbacks to the Forbidden Zone. There's little callbacks to. I also like how in this continuity we're seeing how humans became mutant more primal. It turns out that the virus that had killed off humanity and those were immune thought, okay, we're fine. But nope, the virus that is inside of them is now mutated and is now devolving them while apes are still evolving. So I like that, like, how it explains, in this continuity at least, of how apes became, you know, sentient and more. And here's the other thing, is that we also find out that were there other apes affected? And this is where Bad Ape comes in. Bad Ape is is an ape that Caesar and his group encounter while they're looking for the colonel that murdered Caesar's family. And Bad Ape comes from a zoo, and it's discovered that, oh, the virus, when it spread, it basically enhanced not just the apes that were initially infected, but also the apes that, were all over the world. So Caesar and Maurice are talking, it's like, maybe there are other apes out there. We're not the only apes left. And Bad Ape is a great character. There's a point where I was afraid he was going to go total Jar Jar Binks in this film. I was a little afraid of him going like total Jar Jar Binks. But thankfully they pulled it back multiple times. They knew when to use his humor and when not to. It wasn't like in Jar Jar Binks where it was totally intentional, like, haha, he's doing all these sight gags. Here it's more like he doesn't know how to be around other apes. He's just been around, he's been in a zoo all of his life, and he's literally just been called Bad Ape. So he doesn't know how to interact with them. And dear God, the kid who turns out to be Nova, there are just some great scenes with that kid in here between Caesar and the other apes. There are just some... Oh, man, I could go on and on about this film. I know people are going to be saying, oh, there's some Moses overtones in here. Yeah, there are. Like, Caesar leading his people to a promised land, the bad guys being wiped away by a flood, although granted it's an avalanche, same difference. Yeah, there's some some Ten Commandments overtones up in this bitch. But it's totally fine because that's what Caesar's always been. He's almost been like a Moses allegory from the get-go. And here you just really see it. It's also funny because, he's basically a Moses allegory, but at the same time you have Ten Commandments that had Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston was in Planet of the Apes. Huh? You see? I'm connecting the dot, bitches. I'm connecting the dots. Yeah. So... the other character, the main antagonist is here is the Colonel, played by Woody Harrelson, who, yeah, he is a perfect antagonist because he is completely out of his mind when he discovers that the virus is devolving people, and you really see how far he's willing to go and how far Caesar has let his hate get the best of him, and it really does eat him alive, and we do see that why you also find out why they're apes working with these humans. Turns out, yeah, they were supporters of Koba, and rather than, be left alone to, get fucked by, get killed by Caesar, they decided, hey, maybe these humans will kill Caesar and they'll let us live. So that's why there are several apes who are on, Woody Harrelson's side, is because they're more afraid of Caesar than they are of the humans. And that's what I like in here, is that Caesar has almost become like a myth. When people talk about, oh, Caesar, and yeah, the humans in here, the military that they're fighting is, they basically treat Caesar like he is this military genius, he is this, just deadly enemy. And Caesar shows that, but at the same time he's just like, I never wanted a war, I just wanted to be left alone. Why can't anyone do that? And yeah, I will agree with what several other people are saying, is that war was probably not the best word, the War for the Planet of the Apes was probably not the best title. It's more like, well, we already had Battle for the Planet of the Apes, maybe, I don't know, but war, there's so much more than just a war. There's not really so much a war. I mean, there is a battle, there are several battles in here, but it's not so much a war between a final conflict for the planet. But yeah, if they do a fourth movie, I really hope they keep up with this series, and how good the CGI and the storytelling has been, because this movie is beautiful, the acting is superb, and like I said, there's several other, references and callbacks that feel fluid in here, like the crosses that are from the Forbidden Zone. You also have, like I said, Nova is in here, why humans are becoming primal. The only thing, and this is what Craig and I were talking about at the beginning of this film, is that if you guys remember way back in Rise, there was the whole thing of the shuttle going off into space and getting lost. We were kind of expecting in the final scene of seeing like a little streak across the sky of the shuttle coming down. I was kind of expecting that, but maybe there was an after-credit scene that I just didn't see. I don't think there was. Apparently there wasn't an after-credit scene. I could be wrong though. But yeah, Um, yeah, also, like I said, I cried multiple times in this film. I cried so many frickin' times when and it's usually when an ape dies. When an ape dies, you feel bad because you were emotionally invested in these characters. You're like, fuck the humans, go on, Caesar, lead your people to freedom. And that's the thing, is that you're following Caesar throughout this story of, like, he just wants to get revenge, but at the same time he realizes, oh my god, I'm becoming no better than Koba. And it's such a great film, and I could just go on and on about it, but like I said, yeah, I cried like a bitch a few times. I'm not even gonna hide it, because this film will make, like, there's a good shot that, there's a good chance that you're gonna cry in this film. You are definitely gonna cry, especially at that end. But yeah, of course we also got Cornelius. I almost forgot about Cornelius, and there's just this great scene where after Caesar, the colonel kills Caesar's wife and Bright Eyes, he's angry, and he can't find his son. He grabs a spear when he hears a noise. He's just ready to kill whatever comes out there. And then out comes Cornelius, and he's just like, oh god. And he's just holding his son, and it's such a great moment. There's not a lot of moments between Cornelius and Caesar, but when there are, it just rips your heart out of how much Caesar that's the last thing he has left of his family, and he will defend it to the end. He will defend all of his apes to the end. Oh, Jesus Christ, this movie is just fucking brilliant. So yeah, do yourself a favor. If you've enjoyed the past few Apes films, go check this out. This was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, as it stands, I know there's several other movies, but as it stands, this and Logan are competing for the #1 spot for me for #1 best movie of 2017. At least in my opinion. Like I said, there's still a lot of movies to go through. But you guys tell me below in the comments below, what did you guys think of War for the Planet of the Apes? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.